Welcome to The Opinion. Today we're talking modeling with the two beautiful Zin and the very fierce Amanda. We're going to talk about the modeling world, what it means to them, and what is their perspective on the different criteria needed to become a model in an agency. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your experience modeling. I see you're two very beautiful young women, and I'm sure that you've done it in the past, and we're currently working together on I Am Fashion. So can you talk to us a little bit about your experience, your modeling experience?
Well, my modeling experience, because I don't really look like the typical model, because I have my curves and I like my food. So it started with actually I Am Fashion, which is a show that you created with Grace Bayele, and it was actually my first experience in the modeling world. And I was like, oh, so I can do modeling? Okay, so my curves are okay? Okay, cool. It was a good experience because it built my confidence a lot. And I felt like it was okay, to have like curves and stuff like that. And after that, I did a lot of photo shoots with different photographers because apparently I'm cute, So that's pretty much it. Pretty much for me.
How about you? I've seen you and your beautiful photos and your amazing face. So
thank you. Well, I started out about 2 years ago, and it was for a friend of mine that was in a design school, Richard Robinson, and she had, we're really close friends, and she was like, I need a model for one of my dresses. Hey, you look good. Try on my dress. And so from then on, I did the fashion show for the school and did my first audition, and a few other designers liked my look, so did that for them. And then at the show, I met more people, and I guess that's how the industry works. You just meet more and more people, and some people like your look, some people don't. But my first experiences were very, very positive, and then I got to do a few shoots here and there with different photographers, and the whole idea of a whole team and you're just a different person, they transform you, and then you look at the camera and you're like, it's not me, I don't look like that. But that was really cool, just to get out of my day-to-day look and see what I could become. And so from then on, I was just inspired to do it more and more. And then eventually, I never really considered myself a model. I always say I pretend to model. And then because of the actual standard of a model, I don't necessarily fit the same criteria. Just I'm cute. We cute.
So did you try to join a modeling agency, or are you a part of a modeling agency currently?
No, I'm currently not, and I've never tried to.
Is there a reason why?
I've had a lot of friends in agencies, and some of them seem to like it. Others have discouraged me too, just because of the pressure that's put on you. And I don't really take it that seriously, my modeling, as a career. I mean, I go to school, I'm in my 4th year of university, so it's not really the time to think about anything else but my studies and work. But I mean, if it does happen, I would see where it takes me. I'm always open to try new challenges, but to me it's more about my personal growth, not necessarily for an agency or for someone else. It's more just discovering myself and trying different things, so we'll see where it takes me.
How about you, Amanda?
She spoke my mind. I actually never tried to join an agency because I feel, the criteria, I'm shorter than the norm, and also because modeling is more for fun. It's because I think I like to be, the center of attention. I like to be, put me some makeup, do my hair, take some picture, and then I look at the picture, and I look good. But it's not really yeah, it's true, because I look good. But it's not really it's not a career for me. It's not something that I really takes to heart, because I have a friend that really takes it seriously, and she eats properly, and she's really healthy, and she's tall, and she's beautiful. But it's not it's not my thing per se.
It's interesting that you're talking about criteria and that you're not going to join a modeling agency also because of this pressure, these criteria and everything. And when I founded I Am Fashion, one of the reasons why behind this foundation was because we wanted to be able to give the chance to beautiful women, like you two are gorgeous. Do you have boyfriends? But you know, like I just wanted everyone to have the chance to be able to walk, and if it was good to boost their self-confidence, why not? This was actually one of the main goals, but also to be able to showcase local young designers as well and international designers, because they too have a lot of challenges. Sometimes their stuff is not accepted, and a few weeks ago we were talking about the modeling world and visible minorities as well in the modeling industry. It's not always easy. And so maybe we can address this a little bit, the fact that, you know, if you're a person of color, your chances might not be as high as any other person to book jobs.
Which is something that I really like about I Am Fashion, is really like you open the door to pretty much everybody. And you really build your self-esteem, because when you see in the model industry right now, when you're a person of color, to be a model that is recognized, you really need to have those really like black, you know, features. Like you can't really be, they like really dark skin, really like black nose, black lips, purple, you know, really like big lips and stuff like that, which is something that I feel is really beautiful. But it's the standard, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, I understand. So what you're basically trying to say is that they're trying to have this fixed like image of what a black woman is, and a black woman equals short hair, big lips, big nose.
Exactly.
When there's different shades of black and different shades of mixed people as well.
Because that's their image of like African beauty. African beauty is dark skin, bald, big lips, big nose, you know what I mean? But I feel like we all different type of beauties, and especially nowadays there's so many mixes, and like Spanish and black and Asian and black and stuff like that, and we all different type of beauty, which is the good thing about I Am Fashion, because we showcase like all those beauties are like showcased, you know what I mean? And everybody gets the chance to walk and to feel good and to actually feel like, oh, I am actually beautiful. I can do this. I can do this. Because sometimes when you look at the magazine, you're like, okay, this is not me. This is not me. This doesn't look like me. And you feel down, because we really look, it's sad, but we really look at like TV and magazines to see what's the model of beauty for the society. But when you have shows like I Am Fashion that showcase this, it's okay to be you and it's okay to be different than what you see on TV or in the magazine, it's better, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I believe that like it's the same it's the same thing when we come to design, and for designers as well, it's a challenge, and we'll speak about that challenge when we get back from the break in a few minutes.
Salut, moi c'est Mélissa, directrice d'opération commerciale de malaikatv.com, la nouvelle web télé destinée à la diaspora afro-caribéenne. Depuis son inauguration, Malaika TV est la première web télé à recevoir plus de 2000 visiteurs par semaine et un total de 5500 pages consultées mensuellement. Afin de vous aider à vous rapprocher de votre clientèle, Malaika TV vous offre différents types de publicités. Pour en savoir plus, communiquez avec nous au d.opération@malaikatv.com. Je vous remercie et restez à l'écoute.
Now back on the breaks, we're talking about how it's challenging for models, but also for designers. I actually just got back from Montreal Fashion Week, where I was showcasing some pieces of my collection, and I chose a model out of many models, and that model happened to be black. And I had a good friend of mine who's like a little sister, and another friend who's a part of I Am Fashion to come and to showcase the clothes. And I had a funny comment from two different people, which was, it's amazing, it's great, the girls look good, but don't you think that you're provoking people by just having black models? And my response to that is basically, don't you think that you're provoking me and provoking society in general by having that kind of nonsense comment? Because for me, clothes are made for everyone. we all wear clothes. No one is naked.
True.
At least not here. You know?
I wish so.
So, I mean, like, it can be very challenging, but I believe that we have to also break these challenges as society. We often say, well, society's like this, but we're part of society. And so we're part of a deciding body that says if it's okay or not.
And yeah, and especially when we talk about designer, like fashion modeling, I mean, it's about the clothes, not necessarily the model, and whether they're black or white or, you know, whatever shape and size, it has to fit the clothes and showcase the clothes. So regardless of, you know, where you come from or who you are, as long as you feel like a model and you show those clothes how they should be and you rock it, I think. And I think that's what I understood too from fashion modeling, because I would cast for shows, and some shows, you know, they'd pick me and love me and be like, oh, you're exactly the look we're going for. And then some other shows would be like, no, like, go away, like, you're completely not what I'm looking for. And, you know, some people would say it, you know, in a constructive way or just politely. There's also, you know, that criteria stereotype in fashion where you have to be a diva and, you know, address yourself not necessarily in the proper manner, and sometimes that's really hard on a model, and especially when you're there to like build your self-esteem and, you know, be confident, and, you know, you're already in a vulnerable position putting yourself in front of so many people. But there's also obviously, you know, amazing experiences with designers. So as long as they have in mind that it's the clothes that matter before anything, not the model, don't worry about, you know, how she feels or anything, and as long as they showcase the clothes, I think that's what matters the most.
And so how do you stay confident in a world like this when you go on casting calls and stuff like that? How do you stay confident when people tell you no?
I feel like it starts by loving yourself. You need to be able to look into the mirror and be like, I look good. I am me, and it's good to be me because there's nobody else that is like me in the world. There's just one me, and this is who I am. And it really starts there, because if you go out there and you have like a, you know, your self-esteem is kind of like shaky, when they tell you no, you're like, okay, so what's wrong with me? And you start like questioning yourself when you're beautiful. You are you, and being you is great. So it really starts by loving yourself, you know what I mean? Before like letting anybody else tell you, well, this is what you're supposed to look like, and you're not beautiful because you don't look like this.
What do you respond though to people who tell you that this is what you're supposed to look like?
Personally, to me, it's a challenge, and I don't feel like I need to tell them anything. I just prove it to them. So to me, whenever someone says no or, you know, doesn't choose me, I find something else that I am good at, and I prove myself through that and through my work. You know, it doesn't break me, and it actually like motivates me more, because after a while I would do a lot of photo shoots with the same photographers, and after a while, like, I got bored. It's like, yeah, I can take pretty pictures, I can change the scene, but then when I get a challenge and, you know, someone tells me, oh, you can't do that, it's like, excuse me. Like, I make it work so that I can, you know, try something new and how do we say, like, I guess prove myself, but go beyond what my expectations are for me, and that's actually what keeps me going.
We know that the modeling world can be a bit feisty at times. We've seen it in the past, even thank God with like I Am Fashion, it didn't happen often actually, but there can be some feistiness between people, between models or even between designers putting one another down. And so have you ever experienced that, or have you ever witnessed that, and how do you react to this when it's not necessarily done to you but to other people in front of you?
I feel like, because I've witnessed it at one of a fashion show that I went to, and this was this girl that's, you know, the typical model, really tall, really skinny, and she was talking to this other girl that was a little bit shorter and, you know, more curvy, and she was like, well, you don't even look like a model either way, you shouldn't be here. And I saw it, and part of me wanted to just, you know, you walk away because it's not really towards you and you don't really want to get involved. But then part of me was like, but who said that you look better than her? Because at the end of the day, when I see her walking, I want to buy what she's wearing. I don't want to buy what you're wearing, because at the end of the day, half of the society doesn't look like you. So yeah, you fit one part, one industry, but when you go in the mall, don't you feel like you don't look like a normal person? Just putting it out there. And she kind of kept quiet, and she was like, oh, okay, well, I apologize, I'm sorry. I'm like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, you fit a criteria, but, and you're beautiful, you know what I mean? You're really beautiful, but because you fit that criteria doesn't mean that because we don't look like that, we're not as beautiful, or we cannot do modeling, or we cannot sell clothes, you know what I mean? Because you would see a girl with like really short 5'3", and she would sell more clothes than a girl
Than
that's
another
taller.
one. Absolutely, and I think you're right. I believe that both of you are extremely beautiful ladies, and I appreciate that you stopped by the show today to give us your perspective on the modeling industry. And I hope to see you again soon for another great discussion on models, modeling, and self-esteem, because you're very strong girls. I wouldn't want to get into an argument with either one of you. All right, it was L'Opinion on Malaika TV. I hope to see you next very soon.